Hi there, and welcome back to another installment of Defining Virtuosity. My name is Odin Rathnam. I am professor of Kalamian violin studies at Cleveland State University and a performing artist. And today we're going to continue on our study of Wohlfahrt etudes, fundamental etudes, approached in as artistic a fashion as possible. This particular etude is number 25. There's a hidden melody, a simple melody in it, and I think it's important that we understand that melody before getting into the specific technical benefits of how to do it and the execution of it. There's a melody, very simple, beautiful melody. This is hidden in the etude. The etude is actually for string crossings and opening the elbow, stretching the bicep, curling the fingers, bending the thumb, and really figuring out how the hinge of the bow arm is affected by the hinge of the point of contact with the bow. To review the 5 actions of the bow, we have vertical, horizontal. We have this type of pivoting within the hand or from the elbow joint, supination and pronation. We also have the frog to tip relationship of being able to manipulate the bow this way. And all of those should be blended together to create a joint, essentially, a continuation of the arm. The bow, you can see, is a straight thing, yeah? And the bridge is straight and the strings are straight. And the lines that we try to draw, the shifting lines, everything's sort of straight. But our body is composed of circular joints. So we have to learn how to reconcile these circles with the straight lines required for executing string crossings, healthy strokes, and all of that. The basis of this stroke is the group of 4 semiquavers, or 16th notes, where the first note is a down bow with a dot over it and an accent, and then followed by a 3-note up bow slur. So the action of the hand is one of doing a martelé stroke, essentially, and then 3 notes up. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. To stretch the arm and to learn out and in, I like to have my students practice this at the tip, but in execution, that is just a means to an end. So in the beginning, on martelé, 3 ups, cross, martelé, cross first, out, in, pushing the bow out, stretching the bicep, bending the finger and curling the thumb to really extend the arm, and dropping in, letting essentially this happen in the hand, going from this shape to this shape. This shape on the pulls, curled fingers, bent thumb, dropping slightly out of the hand on the up bow so that the wrist hinge isn't locked. That's a passive motion. We have to think of actively curling the fingers on the up bow to prepare the down bow, and make sure that every time we do a down bow, we come from this shape, a relatively flat hand, wrist slightly above the elbow, springs are all there, and the thumb is able to bend slightly. That unlocks the wrist hinge this way. Okay? So always this freedom. Down, up, pull, push, pull it down, pull that, and really stretch the bicep. It's okay to even have the student remain there. Stretch, stay there, in, feel the stretch. So this establishes, therefore, a group of rhythms that this should be practiced in. I like the rhythm long, stop, triplet long, stop, triplet long, and the reverse. Going quickly to the up bow and setting the hand for the next catch. Those two rhythms are very good preliminary rhythms for understanding the motion. Do it at the tip first. Then in the middle, you set the hand in the arm in the square position here, and use a little bit of fingers and a little bit of out and in motion in your thinking. The bow will actually be hopefully traveling in straight lines. But it's good to feel that you're pushing out and in. Okay? Curl the fingers. Curl the fingers. Curl. We're also making sure that we end each figure on the preparation of the next pattern. That's called advanced preparation. If we refer back to some of my first teachings on here, I said, how about if I counted to 4 and we all said pa on the downbeat? 1, 2, 3, pa. And if we analyze what the last two things we did were, we'll remember, again, we took a little breath and we put our lips together. You see, you want your bow to be ready at the next point it has to be at that moment before the sound, so that the actual stroke is a true release. Few virtues to remember are, again, this has to be free and hanging. This unlocked, contact with the string, right? We need that. By contact, what I mean is I can put my hand in that shape and I can do a collet that catches the string without any tension in the upper arm or anything like that. Okay? The upper arm I want to think of as very fluid. The upper arm and the elbow, very fluid. And these little articulations are just stopping points where that fundamental of the collet catching the string is there. Doesn't mean that we're tight. So the action's sound and the action's execution are different. We don't feel tension doing this. Only the stretch of the bicep when we do that exercise to fully go to the tip. So you can have the student go in, catch, stay. Then this rhythm. Okay, after doing that all the way through the etude, remind the student so that when they play it, eventually we should use different amounts of bow and we should play it artfully. I also recommend strongly that you're slightly less pronated when you start every down bow, balanced a little bit this way, and every up bow a little bit more that way, so that the action of the hand in terms of the balance of the bow that we discuss is shifting. Downs, ups feel more like that, pronated in, so they're not weak. That shifting of the balance we discussed in the previous slurred etude. When you're at the frog, keep your wrist slightly above the elbow and the fingers oriented over the floor straight. Turn them more and more into the stick this way as you approach the tip. Keep them curled. Let the wrist go down. And you won't lose sound at the tip, and you won't crush the sound at the frog. First finger, second, third, fourth. This is the exaggeration, an exercise taught by David Oistrakh that I think is extremely valuable. So in execution, finally, we want to have it sound like a piece of music. And I apologize for any little imperfections in there, but I hope certainly that you get the point of the study. With a little bit of work, it can be really quite a lovely thing and fun for the student to play. But remember that all of the out and in and the actions of the hand are their means to an end. There are a couple of other things about this study that would help. For me, there were a couple of places where my brain, just sight reading, turned off. And you want to beware of changes that are unexpected. If you go down to the end of the second line into the beginning of the third, I would pay special attention to crossing two strings, preparing that legato. So we have that's a. Also be aware if you're crossing to a low string rather than an upper string, that you're crossing properly in that direction. The other places where the melody becomes a little bit different is the second line from the end. Here I like to have my students react to the harmonies. We have minor. Now we have, that's a little bit more harmonically dissonant, and I think that it's beautiful. So if we have a little more string contact on that one, I think it changes the color. So we can play tonics easily. Darker. So this way we're teaching the student right away to react to harmonies and to interpret and not be just static or treat it just as a study. It's more fun to practice that way, and I would encourage those of you that are pros, if you've been playing in an orchestra for 30 years and you're like, I'm not really paying as much attention to my own sound anymore and how comfortable I am, follow through with these. These simple etudes will bring you face to face with a lot of control issues that'll make playing Don Juan easier and all of the other etudes. I mean, symphonic works. So anyway, I hope this helped you. If you enjoyed my video, I hope that you'll share it with friends and subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching.